doesn't go, I'm gonna, if it violates right here at 44 473, I'm taking it off. Okay, so that's my cutoff right there. That's my cutoff, and I'm gonna put it right there. That's my cutoff right there. 70. That's my cutoff. Actually, I should put it below this one. I like this setup. Not that much because I see the 13 pushing downward, although the 8 and the 5 are upward. I still don't like it. And then over here on my whatchamacallit, Heikinachi, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 hanging down. And then on my 5, I got
sound. I forgot to click the button.
I forgot to click the button. Base.
All right, rerun it.
Raleigh base.
I'm just saying something. I just ruined the whole. I just ruined the whole
thing.
My
500
ruined the whole thing.
Tick.
Dang it.
Is
oh well. Oh
Raleigh
well.
Base.
Anyway, like I was saying, script. Whatever. I forgot.
Base,
I forgot. I don't go off a script. I don't have a script, everybody. So it's.
So we'll see.
It is what it is. Damn it.
This could be
by the
a
way,
fake
remind
out.
me, everybody. Remind me when I'm on air with Jack again. What the heck is he doing with those $5? I've sent him a lot of money. $5 at a time. What is he doing with that money? That's what I need to find out. What in the world is Jack doing with that $5? I will tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. I won't be on for Fast Markets. So I will find out. I will find out. Let me take a look. I need to see when I'm going to be on with Jack again. Give me a second. I'll find out. Let's hold up. Let's see if I can remember I can never remember passwords. I will be on with Jack
So we'll
Thursday.
see.
Thursday morning. I'm asking. What the heck is he doing? But yeah, let's get started before I ruin that. I ruined that intro. So let's get started with Slow Markets here. It's talking about some lawsuit with the trading pits and all that. But yeah, here we go. Welcome to Slow Markets, everybody. As always, there's a top step risk disclosure. That's for educational purpose only, not financial advice, not a signals class. And I need to adjust. I look like an orange. I got to adjust my camera. Looks like I always have a little bit too much sun. There you go. Okay. How's everybody doing? It's Tuesday night, Wednesday's price action. I took a loss. I said it was ugly price action for me, the way that I view these markets. Yes, it was. There was not consistency in what I seen today in this market. It was up, down, up, down. So it was just chop. Lots of chop. It was good for a range trader, maybe. I don't know. If I was a range trader, I would find some difficulty in this as well. Looks like we ran some lows, ran the highs, and we kind of just closed where we opened up, 22,900, and tonight we are starting to drift lower. Remember, Coach Hoop did remind me, tonight we do have some data. Shout out to you, Coach Hoop. Chinese PPI, Chinese CPI, month over month, year over year, some New Zealand information, but big one tomorrow. Tomorrow is the FOMC minutes, so we can expect some volatility coming when the FOMC is released. Woo! Richard says, I'm a range trader, Dakota, and I'm red again today. Yes, it's been tough on all traders. And I mean, look at the range. Look at the range we were in today. Not much. From the very, very bottom to the very, very top, 120 points. So it's been a little difficult. Not for everybody, though. There's been some traders in the live account. I seen KJ. Shout out to you if you're ever watching or listening. It looks like you had an amazing day in these markets in the live account. But let's take a look. Let's review this from a daily standpoint. It's Technical Tuesdays. We'll go through some technicals. I took a loss last night on that gold trade. That gold trade was not good at all. I took a big fat L on it. So it is what it is. Let's take a look at the daily chart on the NASDAQ. Is this a bullish flag? We have this nice rally up. And is this a bullish flag? Is this a bullish flag here? Maybe. FOMC minutes tomorrow is going to choose. I mean, are we going to pick a direction for the FOMC minutes? I think once we get to FOMC minutes, we'll see a little bit more clarity in the markets of what it's going to do. Hopefully, knocking on wood. Let's zoom into an hourly chart. I don't think we're going to see too much here in the NASDAQ. Lots of sideways. Maybe we see that downward pressure. You can see that right there with this nice downwards trend line. We see this bullish higher lows. So, I mean, what would be consolidating, waiting, consolidating type mode. We buy it down here in this area. Could be tempting to get in long down and around this level, looking for a long to rotate back up to these highs. Or are we going to play for a breakdown and retest of maybe these lower 800s? I don't know. We'll see how this market plays out. Let's zoom into a 5-minute chart. 5-minute chart, we are already finding some buyers. Looks like we did get down 65. Got a little bit of buyers here. We did come down and test basically the New York Open session, the New York fast market session. We broke through the power hour low. Not much happening. Not much happening. Let's take a look at gold. Ooh, gold. Let's take a look at gold. Let's see the daily chart here on gold. Big shout out to you, Coach Jay. Had a great trade on gold. Great call. Opposite of me. I took that loss. And it's not the best. It's interesting on that daily. Let me zoom in the hourly. FOMC minutes are still going to be pretty volatile there too. We did break through the low. So that's something to behold. The question is, do we get continuation down, and do we come down and test June's low? Do we test June 29th? Do we come down and do we test these 3270s, 3280s? Maybe we come down to, this is an interesting level right there. It's a nice support and resistance around these 32 upper 80s, 3290. I don't know, Coach Hoop. What's your thoughts on gold tonight? Coach Hoop is a gold trader. He trades, looks at everything. Looks like we had that big leg move down. Maybe we do some more consolidation, right? We're right back down into this level. So do we just consolidate again in this level? Is that possible? Sure. That's very well possible. We typically see a spike of volatility right at the top of the hour, so in about 12 minutes.
You say maybe he was right. You grew up wondering like I did. How the fuck?
GC is consolidating higher time frames. Okay, interesting. We have 2,000 traders watching. 2,000 traders watching. Hit that like button. If we do 500 likes, maybe I do something for the audience. Maybe I do something for the audience. It is Technical Tuesday. Liked. Ooh, and while we're here, we gotta make sure we do the hashtag slow markets. Have you guys? Has everybody in the chat? Have you been liking the slow market trade of the night? Have you been liking the slow market trade of the night? I've been posting it right there on the Twitter. There we go. How about we get some helpful analysis? Is this analysis not helpful to you? That's all right. I go through technicals each and every night. He's going to buy a 50K combine. Let's go. I have not bought a combine all year. I have not bought a combine for 2025. I have also not purchased a reset. I have not reset my live account. I have not bought a combine. Everything I've done in a simulated account has just been for here on Top Step TV for education and for like the reversal challenge. So that's one thing I'm absolutely proud of. I'm so proud of it. I posted it on my refrigerator. I posted it on my wall right here, and I went over it, right? There you go. I posted it. Had this nice, beautiful. I like this picture, right? There's beauty in this picture. Broken reset button, climbing the mountain, going into the storm. But true enough, I took my last payout I have taken was early, I don't know, January, February this year for just over $250,000, and I have no purchases. I have zero purchases of resets, combines at TopStep or any other firm. So sure, go ahead, read that. It's right there in that link I sent. Read it. It's fun. I wish I could reset a live account, Andrew. Trust me. Do you know how many times through my trading career I wish I could just call like Interactive Brokers or Tasty Trade and be like, hey, I just can I reset my account? And they're like, no, you could deposit more funds for the margin that you owe us. Margin call, if you know what that is. That's your favorite weather, dark and stormy. That's the best sleeping weather. You can tell I'm just coming off some pre-workout. I'm super sore. Doing some more sparring. I actually. I don't know if I'll spar tonight. They have sparring right at the end of class. I might just go watch it. There's a kid at our gym that's going to nationals. Thinking about doing some Golden Glove. I might even try and do a Golden Glove tournament myself. It's been a while. Go get my butt kicked in front of everybody. Love that. I'm doing that. I mentally got off track. Okay. Yes, sir. Do you want a 50, 100, or 150K account? Yeah, I know. How big of an account do I want with my personal account? But this is the same one I've had. I hit the 1-year anniversary. It's now officially been 1 year since I've been in this live account. Ricky, I don't look at the 4 hour. I look at the daily, the 1 hour, and the 5-minute chart. This is gold. One thing I'm noting here on gold. Let's take a look at this. We started to break through any resistance. It looks like we possibly made a higher low. And we had that nice break to the long side, a little bit of a pullback, maybe some consolidation. The question is, do we break higher? Are we going to break out higher? We come back to have a Mike Tyson black eye. I'm just happy I've not had a black eye in stream. I have not had a black eye. We spar. When I spar, we have headgear on, and you can still get a black eye with headgear on, but it's not like we're going 100%. We're going 20%, 50%, not 100%. If you spar at 100%, that's not the right thing to do, unless you're getting ready for a competition, right? There's competitive competition sparring, preparing for a match. What's up, Coach? Hey, Hig. Let's get those likes up. We have 2,800 people watching. How many of that is robots? How many of that is robots? Out of the 2,800 watching, how many is robots? Gold going. This is the 5 minute. I'm not seeing any trade setup. We're consolidating here at these 33.14s. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Remember, we have CPI and, like Coach Troop was saying, Chinese. We'll see the market move. Was it Chinese PPI, Chinese CPI, and what time is it coming out? Let's see. At 19:30, so it's coming out in about an hour. A little less than an hour. Pearl, I am not a robot. I'm not a robot. Okay. How are we getting 2,800 people? If we could get 2,800 likes, I'll believe that there's no robots. 1,800 bots and nanobots. I don't know. I don't know. If we get those likes, do some hashtag slow markets. Hashtag slow markets.
And here, in its natural habitat,
That's something a robot would say. I'm not a bot. Hit the like. I don't. Can bots hit like button? Can the bot hit a like button?
the telltale signs, elevated rhetoric,
I don't know anymore. I don't know anymore. We're at 900 likes.
The
market makers are tuned in.
Sweaters and boiled lobster.
Almost 1,000 likes. They're real.
Playbook is
Andrew, yes we can.
consistent.
You're full of crap.
When
You're full of crap,
confronted with
man.
uncomfortable truths, they never engage the argument. They
yeah, they
attack
can.
the accent, the
Can we report
resume,
this?
the passport, everything.
Mo,
but the point.
Dakota, let's get another charity run going, and then you'll find out how many heartless souls are watching. There's MP. MP, I sent you a DM to see when I'm going to get you onto slow markets. I could send you a link right here, right now, and bring you on. Do like some type of
But here's what they
login from the
forget.
phone.
When your best counter argument
MP in the
is,
chat. We got to get him. We haven't had a good conversation on air for a while.
You're proving theirs.
The king. Pop step and I tell you what, I'm putting kids to bed. We can see them. It's slow markets. We can put them to sleep here in during slow markets. With these slow markets, put everyone to sleep.
What's the word?
Yeah, it's right about that time. You're in Mountain Standard Time there as well, right? Made my first XFA on slow markets. Up 330. Great work. On with 3 kids. On with the 3 kids. Jenna, how much money is in my live account? Not enough. It's never enough. That's a bot response. Get some deals going. Gotta have a Discord chat. Nope, I don't have Discord, but there is Top Steps Discord that I poke my head in there, and we do the VIP sessions. We do VIP, and man, that's where I actually started getting a lot of interactions with Top Step in the Discord. Not really much going on in these markets. We made that run for, this is the power hour low. We ran the power hour low, rejected, and we started to bounce off of it. Overall tonight, we're down 0.07, so we're basically flatlined here in the NASDAQ with Chinese CPI and PPI in about, what, 40 minutes? Maybe we are in a holding pattern. Typically, we do get a spike in slow markets right at the top of the hour, so in about 12 minutes, we typically see a spike in volatility. Whether it's long or short, we don't know, but there's an increase in volume. I'm watching gold. Jay had that gold trade, that gold short today in the New York session, and it was amazing. The day before that, I had the gold long. That worked out well. Last night, I took a loss, and tonight, I mean, slow market trades have been pretty dang nice, pretty consistent. But let's see if we can find a nice setup tonight. And while I do that, let's put on some music. I have the music, and just let me know if the music is a little bit too loud. Some nice chill music. So if MP's watching, put the kids to sleep. Put the kids to sleep with this music here. I gotta turn it on for myself so I can hear it. Let me know if it's too loud.
The same one some politicians want out.
Where's that Baron? Where's Baron? He joins me for Thursdays, and we always have a bet going. So far, he's won more bets, but I've won more dollar amounts. Risk reward, baby. Risk rewards. Come on, we got 960 lights. If those 2,800 are not bots, I need to know. You should be able to hear the music now. Let me know if it's too loud. I'm watching gold, and I'm watching the NASDAQ. What do you think about a long right now in the NASDAQ? I have a hard time picking a direction. The fact that we did break through this is a key level of support and resistance during power hour. You've seen it held at around lunchtime during the New York session, and we just broke down. And you can see that this, 22,880, it acted as resistance on the way down, and as of right now, we're acting as resistance now. I'm not against longs, right? There's a reason why I have this here. There's a reason why I have this here. Buy the freaking dip, and I need to do better at doing that. But we just rejected. Maybe we can come back down and test it. Odds are, I'm really gonna be taking this is my opinion, really thinking that we're gonna be getting consolidation going into tonight. Like I said, FOMC minutes tomorrow, we can see a lot more chop. Today during the New York session, it was just chop city. There was no rhyme or reason to these markets. We ran the lows, ran the highs, chop, even for range traders. But we did have an amazing, Top Step has a lot of live traders, and so some struggle, some do really, really good. So I gave a shout out to KJ. He put up some big numbers. I don't know if that was today or the day before, but in this type of market, to be able to squeeze anything out of this market is pretty applicable. That's pretty amazing. I'm jumping on fast markets tomorrow. I missed this. Man, I am off for fast markets tomorrow morning, MP. I will be. Me and Baron's going to be on there Thursday morning, though. Thursday morning. And then we still have to go golfing and pheasant hunting before winter comes in, so we have plenty of time. Still just goofing. I thought you might have read my message wrong. If you didn't mute me, and okay, back to work for me tomorrow. Also got to spill some of the beans of what we're launching. All sweet improvements. MP, you spill enough beans on Twitter, where I just follow your Twitter account, and that's where I keep up to date. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, okay. Yeah, I see you shared it. No hashtag slow markets though. You can do pheasant hunting, just not for like. That's about where I'm at too. Grew up on a small farm, and grew up in a hunting family, and that's about where I'm at. That and maybe, yeah, it depends. It depends. Take a look at GC. We have about 8 minutes until we see some movements happening. Spike in volatility maybe, and about 38 minutes until Chinese CPI and PPI. Take a look at this economics calendar. Chinese PPI and CPI coming out in about 37 minutes. Is the music too loud? I think the music's good. Fox News couldn't spin it. They couldn't meme it. I have not reset my live account. Yeah. See, there's no resets in the live account world. Sorry if I disappoint. You like this music? See, that's part of it. If you don't watch slow markets for the trading, you gotta at least watch it for the music. For the music and some shit talking. I am liking longs in the gold side. I do like longs. This nice rally, and then a bit of a. Is this a cup and handle? I mean, you could call this a lot of things, right? From a technical standpoint. And we have about 7 minutes until spike in volatility. I'm watching this from the long side after a big sell-off today, going into FOMC minutes tomorrow, and the equities were pretty choppy, especially the Nasdaq. I would not be surprised. I did try a long last night. I was in the money, but then it ended up reversing and selling off, and Coach Jay was taking that sell-off. Andre in the chat. Pretty good vibes. And we got MP, we got Andre. All we need is Danielle. Danielle and Hogue and Eddie. Play Cocomelon songs. Platinum. Green Steady. I don't take a look at Platinum a lot. I know Coach Jay does whenever he's on. What's the... We have currency futures. Currency futures. A big one I used to trade was the dollar yen. I used to trade the dollar yen a lot when I was starting out as well. Oh, there's Danielle. Danielle, always listening. Let's see if we can find the setup here on gold. I'm going to go ahead and throw on a couple... I'm going to throw on a micro long. Let's see if we could just catch about 30 ticks. I'm going to look for about 30, 42. See if we can gold can come up and spike up to these 33.19s. I might add to this. You can have a wider stop loss. The beautiful thing about micros and slow markets, you can have a wide stop loss. Let's see if we can set this up, and build a position. 3 large improvements within 45 days, 2 of which everyone gets grandfathered in. If I guess it, will you say it? Dakota, you added a stop loss by sliding your entry line. Yes. Yep, I added to this position too. So after I get into a position, I could just click and drag, and boom, there's my stop loss. I can also click and drag, and there's my take profit. Like, click and drag. Just smear the messenger. Out of 70 credits, it's nice. It's convenient. One where he plays a criminal. Classic, right? I'm going to add to this. So there we go. There's 3 micros. We have about 4 minutes to the top of the hour. But I love that you love gold again. That is where you started. Yeah, remember that? Gold and Nasdaq. Custom indicators, Project X, Top Step X. Honestly, Top Step X is the best platform. Do you know how many times I get comments throughout the day on social media about some of the amazing stuff on Top Step X? I was going to show you one. Let's see. Where? There's... Man, I get messages all the time. It's so nice to see. There's one. Man, cycling, struggling, and a lot of traders don't realize that they need the risk management. It's like having a risk manager looking over their shoulder. Yeah, so I went through the hurdle too. I went through the learning curve. So before joining Top Step, a year and a half ago, I was with NinjaTrader. And when it's like an old dog set in their ways, right? You get used to a platform and you're used to it, and then that's, you know, all the tips and tricks. I was teaching class on the NinjaTrader platform, and I had all the hotkeys, and I was comfortable. And it took me about 2 months. It took me about 50, a little less than 2 months to get used to this. And now I want to, I have a hard time going back to any other platform. I tried Interactive Brokers platform, and it sucks compared to when I'm trying to day trade. I'm like, I have to read a 1-inch thick manual of how to find the risk management settings, and even then it's a headache. So yeah, I made the switch last year. That's when I lost my live account last year, before I got this live account. I don't know if you guys can remember that, where I was in my live account, I made a mistake, I took a loss, I lost the live account, switched over to Top Step X, and then I earned this live account, and I've had this for officially 1 year now, and that was last July, right before the carry trade at the end of July. It was pretty insane. My T4 platform was on it for 22 years. It's, yeah, on it for 22 years. You got me beat. I used to have a... Yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that one. We're chilling here in this gold long. A minute and a half. A little less than a minute. Actually, we'll see if we get these spike. I'm going to go ahead and double chart this. double charts, put one at the 100 ticks, and we'll see if we could manage this position going into the top of the hour. Remember, Chinese CPI and PPI coming out in about 30 minutes. We can see some volatility going into that.
Yeah, we basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard.
How old am I?
Don't know what
Take a guess.
they're doing.
Take a guess of how old I am.
Thank you.
Probably older than you think.
By the way, that's what many
Okay,
people
Richard Harris,
say
you know.
about him, right?
You know.
He doesn't
Brackets comes top step X in a week. That's not one of the improvements I was alluding to, but it's okay. Okay. Brackets coming to top step X in a week. That's a big one I've been wanting. Since I trade overnight and I put brackets on, that's going to be big for a slow markets trade.
It kind of writes itself.
Yeah, I'm 31. I'm 31.
Needed, no punchline required. The genius tells the joke for you.
Baron will be happy. Does Baron like brackets too? Well, maybe two. Don't quote me. Alerts are next.
Comedians barely have to lift a finger.
Okay, it's top of the hour. We're seeing some spike in volatility now. A little bit of a sell-off here into these 12s.
Look at that.
If we break these 12s, I'm going to bell and I can re-enter.
Kid that I guess was fired after the time limit. These guys gotta calm down. I didn't like the fact
Top step is
that
just
he
over a
threw
year. Top step X is just over a year old.
unload, didn't
Top
throw
step
unload
is
in the
been around since
line.
what,
The
2010?
biggest load that
2010?
we've seen. When I say
Top step X is just over a year old. A lot of people don't
They
realize
go
that.
out in the first hour,
I remember when
drop everything
I think I
down.
was I on air when
With them, I'm not
everyone announced
happy
when we
with
announced
the
Top Step X?
Well, yeah, I mean, you're the one who gave them 12
like-
hours.
yeah, March,
This is
April,
normal.
June,
How
somewhere
you
right
get
there.
people who are obsessed with
Gold in the
war.
range? Yeah, we're just in this range.
Fighting. These are
In this range.
idiots.
I bought the top of this
Talk
range.
about war like it was a game show. 12 hours, that's your window. Diego didn't have to push.
I made the switch last week. I've been watching the tutorial on YouTube.
Asking
How do you like it,
nations
DJ?
to stop fighting
And,
because
you know,
he's
there's also this
disappointed.
little question mark, and
That's
there's
not
some Top Step
diplomacy.
5-minute tutorials
That's
right
like
here.
giving kids
And
candy
there's a lot of
telling them
information
not to
through
eat it.
this.
And Diego,
This is where I spent a lot of my time
just
learning,
held up the mirror.
is I
The joke
didn't
was
take too long,
already
just
there.
quick
Straight
information.
from Trump. Okay, enough.
There we go. Look at that. Came down to these 312s and completely rejected. Nice seeing that spike in volatility already tonight, right at the top of the hour. So let's see if we can pick a direction. I'm in it for the longs.
Enough of the noise. Sometimes the sharpest
Top
move
Step
isn't
X,
a joke. It
just over a
is
year
the
old and
pause that follows.
only getting
No
better.
more biggest loads.
What's my profit target on this trade? So I will take one profit if we could get up and come and test these highs at these 318s, 319s. And since I'm in 3 contracts, 3 micros, that allows me to hold on to 1 or 2 of the contracts for maybe a runner. I have this one as a kind of like a stretch target. Probably just let's close out of that one, because if we do start to catch a decent bid going through that, then I want to hold a runner. But let's just watch. We're consolidating in this level. Trade's not over. We'll see how we play. We have the Chinese CPI and PPI coming out in about 27 minutes. And I definitely do not want to be in the middle of a trade going into it. I'll definitely want to flatten, even if it's for, what, $100 or $200 loss. I'm okay. If we do start to rally and I'm able to close for some profits, I might be able to move my stop loss in profit and hold it through that CPI or risking very little. So let's see. You're starting to see some more volatility. Do you see how slow it was here on the 100 tick? And now we're seeing some big, better movements here tonight. Let's take a look around. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ catching a bid. You can see that there's this nice resistance that we are seeing here at these 880s, 882. If we break through that, can we come back up and test this? Maybe we come back up and test this level around 900. We've been around 900 all freaking day during the New York session. And so if we do reject and start to break out, maybe we target 900 again. But until then, let's continue to watch gold. Let's continue to watch gold. Seeing some volatility. This is the volatility I was expecting right at the top of the hour. Probably could have got better price, but that's okay. For those wondering, yes, this is my live account. I would MP, and those will be getting better. Pro ball, pro ball. Who would open up a personal account at Top Step Brokerage and use Top Step? I would MP. If you call me tomorrow and say, hey, Top Step X is now available for personal brokerage, I would send over a quarter million. I have it sitting, waiting. I want to day trade futures in my personal account, but it's so hard because I've gotten used to Top Step X, and I love these risk management settings that I don't want to sit there and read a book and hope that they work. And I'm so used to trading Top Step X, I would do it in a heartbeat. And I'm not just saying that. I'm being serious. Even if it's just a platform. I don't know if I could. Let me swing trade. Let me swing trade it. Let me swing trade it too.
But Diego, you ask.
I would be buying dip with 5 micros and holding it for months.
Do I have to pay taxes like immigrants do in the States?
Actually, incorrect, Michael. Michael says I can't say I am blindly in without knowing margins. For me, I will say yes without knowing margins, because it can't get worse than Interactive Brokers margins on futures. Am I allowed to say that? I'm gonna get fired. But Interactive Brokers has some of the worst freaking day trading margins, futures margins. 1K NQ day margins. Oh dang. Okay, that's more than enough. That's plenty NP. Do whatever you want in your personal. I'm sold. Do whatever you want. $1,000 a mini. Michael, yeah, you use interactive brokers. You know how horrible the margins are. Okay, I like that. 1K. Quarter for commission. The golden era of prop trading. The golden era of prop and futures. Futures trading has not been more popular than it is today.
It's time to go.
Okay, we have about 23 minutes until the Chinese PPI and CPI. We're still in this range of 312 to 315 here in gold.
A giant pinata smuggling Americans.
Bob Fairchild. PopStep X is best. I killed all my NT8 accounts.
The absurdity felt
Maybe
real
a
enough
brokerage
to
that
make me
incentivizes traders to trade less or to avoid liquidation. Would that be cool? Instill good habits with your personal brokerage and get rewarded. I think that would be good. That would be pretty dang cool.
And I'm like, wait, but I was in Mexico.
Keep track of that. Give me a
I was
award.
already
Give me an
America.
incentive.
Because Mexico is part of America.
Diego wasn't just cracking
Eventually,
a
going
geography
through.
joke. He was
This is why we want.
pulling
This is why we
back
want
on the
MP on
whole
slow
us
markets in the
versus
YouTube
them
chat, so that we could get
It's not about math.
we get the beans
It's
out
about
of it.
mindsets.
We
We call
can
that
get
a
the good
truth
stuff.
too many pretend not to see. Borders divide land, but it's fear that divides
Let's-
people, and that's what
He's like-
stung most.
Yeah, this is
How do you keep your
now we're picking up volatility with this music. This music is for more volatile markets. Nasdaq, we did break through these 880s, 880s, but not much. Nasdaq's not as volatile. Like I said, watching this gold play out before Chinese CPI, Chinese data.
Change happens when people are the ones that make it happen. Otherwise it
Good night,
doesn't happen.
MP.
And that's what we're seeing
Maybe
now.
I'll see you Thursday.
And after this dark period, we're going to see the things that are missing in our government, in our society.
Get the good
are
stuff.
going to
Get the good stuff
happen.
at night.
And as a poet, a public
MP says, yes, I'll hold you to it.
said, you can cut all the flowers, but you can't hold back
Yes,
the
that's part.
spring.
That voice,
Now that MP's gone, we can
that's
crank up the
Dolores
music.
Huerta, civil rights icon, labor activist, and
Chinese
someone who's been
CPI, yeah,
turning words
totally
into
legitimate.
change over
Let's go.
half a century.
Hey, it's gonna move the markets. Will it move the markets? Is the question.
Change happens when people are the ones that make it happen. It's not wishful thinking. It's lived experience. She's marched.
Everyone's showing up. The night I take some pre-workout before sparring,
Resistance
and everyone shows up when I'm all hyped up.
and in that
I'll
moment,
build up on pre-workout.
Diego gave her the stage. No jokes, no punchlines, just truth.
The boss is gone.
And powerful.
No one is answering. Lito, VIP draft is not an inside joke. Yeah, good chat. Let's see. You know what I want to do? I want to do this. This is you guys have probably heard about this. Whoop. I want to find a way to broadcast my heart rate while I'm on air. To have like a little heart rate watcher or monitor on like the top right, so everyone can see my heart rate while I'm trading. What's your thoughts on that? Just boom, heart rate. Let's do it. Heart rate monitor. When I'm in a trade, will it spike? Yeah, it's up a little bit. I'm on some pre-workout right now. I have sparring in an hour. What entry price? Right here on your screen, 3315.1. Danielle says, let's do it. Yeah, I'll need to find a way to connect it to my computer. You know, it's not about me sending my vitals. It's about understanding emotions and like fear and greed when you're in the middle of a trade, right? Like, what's your resting heart rate when you're flat and you're watching these markets? And then what happens when you get into a trade? What happens when it hits your stop loss, when it's getting close to your take profit, when you're managing the trade? It'd be interesting to see the fluctuations of my heart rate. I mean, I could look at it and watch it now, but it'd be cool to have on air, right? It'd just be like something where if markets are not doing anything, it'd be something interesting on like the top right-hand corner of the screen to monitor it. And then it's like, oh shoot, I'm in 2 minis, in 3 minis, and then the heart rate starts getting up, and and it just spikes. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Okay, I might be bailing out of this. I might bail out of this. Let's see, if we fail, I'm gonna take 100 and I'll get out before my stop loss. Because I can always get back in. This is not a dump. This is not a major dump here in gold.
They're your neighbors, your friends.
Where were you on the 5th of July? I don't know.
This is very unfair.
And Diego didn't need a punchline for this part. He just spoke the truth. Empathy isn't weakness. It's the foundation, the plan.
Let's go long gold. Your call on NQ was spot on. What am I doing? What am I doing in gold then? Yeah, look at NQ. We broke right out of those 82s. And can we see 900s? Maybe we'll see 900s. We're not there yet. But NQ was the buy.
The kind that makes you think twice about what kind of country you want to live in.
Which in Spanish means.
I'm not giving up on this gold trade yet.
So I guess yes, this is a good buy.
56 contracts sold at 33.12.
There's another No Kings protest on July 17th.
Player Jim.
If you're not going to
Down
a
136
concert,
right now,
maybe
146.
you can check it out.
This might just go straight to my stop loss.
You know, by making your voice heard, you want
If you thought NQ buy, why buy gold? So this is a very bad misconception sometimes, is if I think the NASDAQ is going to be long, does not always mean gold will go down. There's been so many times where gold and NASDAQ go the same direction, and there's also been many times where gold and NASDAQ go opposite directions. So I don't look at that as a 100% correlation.
That's the kind of goodbye that sticks.
Contrary to what some might believe, the way that gold and NASDAQ react.
All rolled into one.
We have 15 minutes,
In the end,
just over 15 minutes.
real change isn't about slogans.
Come on, China.
or
They're going to save us. Save this trade.
It's
Down
about
100,
showing up,
120 bucks.
speaking up, and
Is
backing
this the
up
dip? This is probably the dip to buy.
And Diego, he made sure the last word wasn't just his. It was ours. So
Yeah, it doesn't work. I tried it. Yeah, everyone thinks that. Everyone thinks like, oh, gold's going up, so that means the NASDAQ and all the equities are going down. Not always. In a very basic sense, sure. If the equities just start crashing, typically you'll see the safe haven assets like gold find a bid. And it's even harder from a day trading perspective, right? From a minute perspective, from scalping, from day trading, it's even harder. It's more of like a swing trade. If the markets sell off for a week, then typically you would see gold rally for a week. But for me anyway, this is just me. I don't like to look at correlation between gold and NASDAQ or gold and, I don't know, plug in anything, a stock. If Nvidia sells off, does that mean gold's going up? Not really. And Nvidia's part of the NASDAQ. Yeah, yep, I would say if there's a major event, then that's more applicable. There's times where you see online where it's like, man, this person, instead of he's been getting cooked in like what selling gold, he synthetically sold the NASDAQ by buying gold or something. It's synthetic. Is that too big of a word for this class? Maybe not. Okay, let's get some hashtag slow markets. I see a few of them coming in, but not any good ones yet. Let's make sure we get a hashtag slow markets. There's the link. Share a trade, share something. We have 14 minutes before Chinese data coming out. Buy it, trade it says, you short gold? Question mark. I am long gold. With my CYA at 304. When you start seeing commercials for buying the QQQ, then it's time to sell. Pon, I wish that was true, but when me, Jay, and Baron went to Chicago, when we watched the baseball game, QQQ was on the billboard. They were advertising QQQ, so I don't know how long it's been there. There's always advertisements for QQQ. It's always being pumped. Thoughts on copper? I don't trade copper. They've been having that QQQ for years. Invesco QQQ. Wonder if I'm sure they get commissions. And everyone's still putting money towards their retirement account every week, right, or every other week. Percentage is probably going towards QQQ. Richard Harris, I have a big chess game tonight. Richard Harris, did you see Magnus Carlsen lately? He's been tearing it up. Dakota, it's amazing now to see commercials from futures trading. Okay. What's your ranking, Richard? Magnus Carlsen's your hero? He's the GOAT, man. Magnus Carlsen is the GOAT. I would play somebody in a chess match. Right here, right now. Maybe Coach Jay and I. I played MP. I played MP when I was in Chicago. And during the trader meetup. That was fun. MP's not too bad at chess. NASDAQ still chilling here right at 312. Do you think NQ will be choppy tomorrow? I don't know. Let's focus on this gold trade, and then we'll take a look at the NASDAQ and see how these markets react around this Chinese data coming out here in about 10 minutes. Did Richard say what his rating is? I'm 1400. I like bullet. I like bullet chess. 3 minutes. Remember, the setup's over here on the 5-minute chart, so everything that I'm watching is typically the 5-minute chart. And then I'll watch maybe these small details over here on the 100-tick chart. But watching, learning, seeing, doing, maybe that was probably the better buy. I put that line up there before. It looked like we were just going to break out. Faked it, hit these 310s. So let's just watch. Let's see what we can do here. I prefer over the board than online. I agree. What's my take profit? I don't have a take profit in as a solid, but I will close maybe 1 or 2 contracts up if we get to these 319s. 10 minutes, the Chinese data. Pushing back up into the middle of this range here at 313s. I tried 3 minute and my rating dropped 300 points. Chess is just pattern recognition. What's your opinion on QE trading 5XFAs? What's QE? I don't mind traders that trade 5XFAs, but I am a firm believer that if you cannot trade 1 account, you cannot trade 5. So if you're brand new, and if you're learning how to trade for the first time or trying to find consistency, to me, I truly do believe that it's better to try and find that consistency with 1 account, and then scale up, right? Someone explain to me what happened. was not watching copper, but here we are pushing back up into these 314s. The China data is poised to come out in about 9 minutes. Take a look at this trader hub here in Top Step X, and you can see Chinese PPI. I got 1930, and here at 1930, so it's about 8 minutes, depending on your time zone. Okay, is this pivot? I can move my stop loss. Is that the pivot? I can move my stop loss. Let's see. Now it's time to start actively managing this. Getting in within 8 minutes. 8 minutes, almost. Yeah, 8 minutes. I might close a couple out and just trail it. Yeah, ever since the top of the hour, we've been seeing that spike in volatility. Having a hard time to hold trades to take profit? Any suggestions? If you're having a hard time holding on to trades, probably try sizing down. A lot of times what I see traders is they care too much about the trade. Like, for example, like this. This 3 micros. I'm not going to say I don't care about it, but, you know, hey, $10. Yeah, not too big of a deal. I don't mind, you know, taking a full stop loss on this. Typically, it's size down, and just try not to linear overmanage your trade. Okay, the less clicks of the mouse, typically the better. That's why I love slow markets trades. If you've been watching me this past week, I've had some pretty great slow markets trades where I just set it up just like this, and then I would turn my computer off, I would go to bed, and I'll let the trade play out.
In just 7 words, Diego Luna achieved what years of fact checks couldn't. He made them reveal their real problem with immigrants.
Copper may pop on this number as well if it's a mover.
Last night, they got the highest offer.
Alex says, I'm starting to enjoy this. Going to try and show up every evening. It's funner than you think. Slow markets is funner than you think. I'm getting chess challenges now on DMs. I would love to play some chess, right? Maybe one of these days we'll get like a chess night.
The other night, and this was, to be fair, this was really knee slapping. And this monologue.
There's no cuss words in this, so it's good. Or do you like the saxophone?
With their jobs. Papers or no papers. Is he speaking from experience?
From saxophone to reggaeton.
Hey.
I don't even know who
He's an actor on a Disney Plus.
I like the saxophone. That's more of the vibe right now. Under 6 minutes. Let's see if we can break through these highs. The meme lord of elevator music.
By the way, Jimmy, that's my gift to you.
Let's get through these highs. Come on.
Yeah, whatever name this woman has, I got her to finally watch your show.
And here,
5 minutes.
in its
Chinese
natural
data.
habitat, we observe the Fox News immune response in full panic mode. Note the telltale signs. Elevated
Changing,
rhetoric,
the good old V.
absence of logic,
Yeah, that's typical in
and
gold,
then
right? This is very typical in gold.
crimson hue,
You take a look at that.
usually reserved
Look what happened
for
here.
sweaters and
Coach Hoop, you know.
posters.
The V shape
Their playbook is
happens in gold pretty frequently.
consistent. When confronted with uncomfortable truths, they never engage.
I bought the dip on gold, just closed out
They
for a few
attack the
micros.
accent,
Great trade.
The resume.
Great trade. There's some good opportunities in slow markets. You just gotta manage risk and practice patience. Patience is very key. It's key on both, but slow markets makes it even more harder to practice patience. That's why higher time frames are a lot more consistent for me. I locked all my accounts to max 6 micros on NASDAQ. Yeah, that's right. Because look at these lockout features. Contract limits.
You're proving theirs.
I've never hosted a
Contract
talk
limits,
show
you block-
before, but
Manage
I
risk in
will
many
try
different
my
ways.
best. English is not my first language. So
Next
I hope you
what we're
guys
gonna
will
do. Next
help
what
me if
MP.
we get
I know he's not listening.
What's the word?
Went to sleep. But I think the next thing we could do
with
is
everything going on
I
in
can
this
connect the risk
country
management
around
to the heart rate.
immigration.
Right? If
And
my
I'm
heart rate
very
gets above
policies of
120,
Donald
it locks me out.
Trump. It is no small thing that I'm
Heart rate gets above 120,
hosting
lockout.
such an important show.
It means I'm too emotional or something.
Said it all.
Let's-
A Mexican actor center stage joking about deportation on national TV. It wasn't just funny. It was a reminder of reality.
Do I implement my 3-bar reversal on tick charts? No. Nope, not tick charts. Usually a 5-minute or an hourly.
And Fox.
Mine stays at 122. During trade, you got a high resting heart rate.
The contradictions his presence exposed.
If your heart rate's above
Because when
120,
the
staying down, you're
truth
playing right.
slips
Or
in with a
trading.
smile,
Okay, you can imagine.
that's when it stings the most.
Should we watch my heart?
And
I don't think
Diego
it's
delivered
changed.
it straight. No spin,
It's a
no
93.
filter.
93 is pretty high. I usually have a resting heart rate of about 65 to 70, 75.
when people still make movies in LA. Yeah. Until I
Having
felt alone
the heart rate
at home.
monitor during the reversal
And
challenge.
just as I felt that, I immediately found the community came out to support me. To show
It's
me
the
their
pre-workout.
love and
It's
to remind me
pre-workout.
that
Okay,
something holds
2
us
minutes.
together. And the people
Thinking about
that
managing this
lifted
trade.
me
How
up
can I
were
manage this
mostly
trade?
people
I
that
might
had
just
left their country
close
to
out.
find a new life. Or the sons
Darth
and
Buddha, that'd be
daughters of
kind of cool. It
immigrants
would, huh?
that had come
Mine is
here in
75.
order to
Mine's sitting at
work.
93 right now.
Healthy, enjoyable,
It's probably gonna stay at 93 for the entire
life
class. We have
away
30 minutes
from
left.
place of origin.
Diego wasn't just talking.
I'll be locked out all day
He
then.
was reminding us that behind every debate on borders, there's a human story. And the people who welcomed him, the same ones some
Okay,
politicians
minute and a
want.
half. Let's
No
see.
slogans,
My fingers on these
no
management
rules.
buttons.
Just
Let's see.
prove
There's a few
that
ways I can
you
manage
are
this now.
without range.
There's a few ways I can
Ever
manage
felt
this.
that?
I can close out at 2 and just let it go and just accept this risk. I can move my stop loss up to that pivot of 09. I can just flatten out completely. My risk is at 103 ticks, which with this is $300. So I'm okay with anything. This is not a big risk. $300. It's not too much, and we're sitting here hovering at the highs. We have 1 minute till the data comes out. But if we do start to break out, then I might decide to just move my stop loss up to 09s. So let's see how this plays out.
No anger, no shouting.
I have my fingers are on the buttons right here. It's at join bid, join ask, close. I don't mind doing either. And we might not see any movement. There's plenty of times where this might just be a goose egg and a big nothing, right? That's also an option. You don't know. But I'm thinking, as you can see, I'm going into something. I'm thinking about risk management. You know, with my stop loss. You know, is this too big of a position? Should I close the contract? Should I move my stop loss? Where should I manage this? Risk management. My heart rate is down to 76. My heart rate's down to 74 now. So my heart rate's going back down to normal.
Merchants, athletes, drivers, farmers, they pay a lot of taxes.
Okay, let's see. Let's see it. Okay, top of the. Well, here we go. Let's see. Nothing yet.
In 2022,
we're chilling.
undocumented immigrants
A nothing burger.
generated around $96.7 billion
Nothing burger.
worth of taxes.
Ooh, this is a good song too.
That is something that the Trump administration
I'm not seeing
doesn't
anything.
want you to know.
Is it hitting the wire? Yeah,
A
it came
number
out.
so big it probably
It's
gave Trump heartburn.
not much. The CPI is 0.1 when it was previous and expected. Negative 0.1. The actual is negative 3.6 when it was previous. You know, negative 3.3. See it right here. Negative 3.2. Oh, you can't see it. My bad. Sorry. Now you can. There you go. There's the actual and the previous. See? There you go. Actual Chinese PPI forecasted previous. So better expected and worse than expected. And gold is not really doing much. So I like that. I like that we're kind of hanging out at these 315s. So all of that for a whole lot of nothing. Let's see. Someone says NQ's dumping. Yeah, there goes NQ. NQ back testing the New York session lows. Let's see if we can. Are we going to find buyers here? Or are we going to go through this? If we do break through these New York session lows, then the next area that Coach Jay and I was both looking at was going to be these lower, obviously, the July 7th lows. Right, July 7th lows. That could be an option if we or target if we do start to break through that. But let's go back and see what's micro gold doing. We are continuing to push a little bit higher. The question is, can we break through the session highs? This is the session high, by the way. There it is. Let's see if we could break through that 16.4 session high. Gold pumping. Greetings from Colombia. What a recovery for the gold longs. Long and strong. David, what are you referring to? Make sure you click on live. There's sometimes you might not be live and you could be responding to something that's already happened. There you go, Coach Hoop. China producer index year over year registered negative 3.6. Thank you, Coach Hoop. You know what I like about tuning into Top Step is I typically find the news a lot quicker. It's like, yeah, what's going on in the market? What happened? I just tune in Top Step. I get that from you, Coach Hoop, or Eddie, right? And then talking about the markets. It's a lot faster than the freaking CNBC. CNBC's going off about some special on some stock that never heard of in the middle of a news event.
And yet, they still have to beg for people. It's absurd.
Okay, we got a couple slow markets.
And the kicker?
Yeah, Eddie's all over the news. Oh, yeah. Okay, come on, gold. Let's get through 16.4. 16.4 is the high.
The fuse was lit, and the meltdown, oh, it was just getting started.
I even got a review.
All right, let's get 16.4. Let's break through it with some momentum. We have about 25 minutes left of slow markets. Just gotta put in the time.
Immigration policies while guest hosting Kimmel.
Think there's some stops just above? Yeah, I think so. I think there's some nice stops above 16.4. I think if we do break out, we're gonna gain some nice momentum. Look, there's 100 contracts sitting right there. Look, right there, right just below the high. 16.4 is the high. There's a couple stops sitting at 16.3. Hey, you know what else, chat? I don't see very many YouTubers and very much content where they just show all this live in front of you. They don't show everything. They make excuses.
And just like that,
I always see lots of excuses.
Fox pulled the oldest trick
Show
in
it
the
because I switched accounts.
Don't debate the facts.
Let me
just
do
spear
this.
the messenger. Out of 70 credits, they went for the
There's the
one
Top Step
with
risk
least
disclosure in the YouTube chat.
Classic, right? Instead of
You know it's not
facing the
financial
truth
advice.
Luna shared, they tried to reduce him to a stereotype.
This is all taped.
Because that's easier than admitting he made sense.
And now we're
Funny
seeing
how
the
they
true
always
slow
have
markets
time
come
for
out.
that part, but
Hanging out.
the actual numbers
Is
he
the
gave,
NASDAQ moving? Did the Nasdaq find buyers? We did. We did. We got down to basically these 850s again, where the New York session was, and started to bounce a little bit so far. Is this a bounce or a pullback? Is this a pullback? Maybe we're going to see continuation. Continuation. We're only down 0.12, so that's still not much of a move here in the Nasdaq. We'll switch that one. That's not the vibe I'm in. And gold is about the same. Gold's down 0.09. So we're not seeing much movements in these markets tonight.
And tell me if I go too hard on Trump or the MAGA universe in general.
Roy Z, haven't seen me in a while. Well, why not? I'm on here slow markets Sunday night through Thursday night, and then I'm on fast markets, and then I'm pretty active on the Twitterverse. Pretty active on the Twitterverse.
Okay, you can put those in my trunk.
And I think we might just chill and consolidate for the rest of the class. So let's get to some questions. Questions, and I almost have all the slow market, hashtag slow markets. Still not seeing any good ones. Hashtag slow markets. Come on. I challenge everyone. Get some good memes in there. Get some good memes. There was one that I thought was funny last night. I stayed up late last night. And I was laughing my butt off at this one. This. What used to scare us versus what scares us now. Yeah. If you know what I mean, if you know, you know. We live in a different age. For me, it was actually a belt. It wasn't a rolling pin. It was more of a belt.
Okay,
We got
Laurie.
the belt.
Thank
You
you
didn't
very
listen.
much.
And that
Now these
wasn't
these
just
big red
nodding.
candles when you're in a long
It was a
position.
legal stress test, seeing how far a joke
The wooden
can go
spoon?
before someone
Yep.
calls ice.
Yeah.
Laurie
My
wasn't
teacher had a
there
wooden
to stop.
spoon,
She was part of the
but I
punchline.
never seen the
Because
teacher
when
use it.
satire
It
needs
was
a
more of
lawyer
an
on
empty threat.
standby, you know the ice
Cast
is
iron
bad.
pan. Me too.
And right after
The shoe, the
that,
chancla.
Trump ran to Truth Social, where he basically wrote Diego's next joke for him.
This morning I went
Belt
for
bamboo stick.
Truth
Yeah. Cast iron is
Social.
crazy.
For the first
Come on,
time in my
Jack.
life.
Doesn't. Hey, the physical pain's temporary,
I had to shower
but the pain that
4
would cause
times.
to your trading account is. It hurts
I've
deep.
been updating everyone on
Taking
the
a
situation in the Middle
blowing your
East.
account
It
is
very
hurts so much
complicated,
deeper.
but thankfully
I'll
your
heal.
president is a political genius.
A bruise would heal. Daily loss limit. It's
Really
there.
broke
It cuts
down
deep.
in simple terms.
Yeah, we basically have two countries that
Bottom
have
spanky.
been fighting
Switch.
so
Let's see.
long
Is
and
Nasdaq
so
doing
hard
anything? Did we find some
that
buyers in the
we
Nasdaq?
don't know what the
We did.
fuck
Buyers did hold
doing.
those 50s. So we held the New York session low.
Thank you.
Not
Thank
surprised.
you, Mr.
Why would we?
President.
Yeah, not surprised. He said
By the
data
way,
coming out tomorrow.
that's what
FOMC
many
minutes is big
people
tomorrow.
say about him,
Gold's
right?
holding this range between 12s and
He
15s.
doesn't know what the f he's doing.
Imagine logging onto Truth Social
Italian
and
mom, wooden
needing
spoon
4
survivor here.
showers just to feel clean again. That's Diego for you. Brutally honest.
How do you
right?
change the P&L to
And when
ticks?
Trump
Oh, I
tries
love
to
it. That's one of my
explain
favorite
more
features.
like he
Ticks or
brings
points.
up a bar
When I'm in gold, I
fight,
like ticks. When I'm in Nasdaq, I like points. But in the
No
settings, you go to
exaggeration needed.
charts and data, and you can go
Punchline required.
dollars, ticks, points,
Genius.
percentage. Ticks and
Tells
points,
the
they're my
joke
two favorite
for
ones.
you.
I strongly recommend
See
it.
how
So
this plays out?
it's a lot less emotional when you're
Whether
just
you
watching
sound
the
like
charts
this,
and you watch the P&L
Indians
fluctuate.
barely have to lift
And here we are, right back down to the
Trump was
12s.
very disappointed in Israel and Iran yesterday.
Got back in
because
Combine
they
and made
didn't obey his
$1,500.
rules on the ceasefire.
All right, nice, nice.
Rocket that I guess was fired
I see Coach
after
Shea
the
venturing out a
time
little
that
trading
these guys
yen.
gotta
Traders don't
calm
realize there's more
down.
to it than the
And
Nasdaq and
back
yes,
in
yes,
Israel,
there is currency
unloaded.
futures here at Top Step.
Left
Go in here and you type in
unloaded,
some of the currency
Israel
futures.
unloaded.
I like just to type 6
Biggest
because there's
club that
Australian
we
dollar,
see. Okay, now you
micros,
go
micro
out.
Aussie dollar, the euro dollar, the pound, sterling, right? Who knows currency nicknames? Come on. I can't remember. It's been a while, but yeah, the British pound. I remember it's like what the sterling, the yen, the Swiss franc, Mexico. Yeah, so you can trade. You can trade different currency futures here. You're not. You can trade metals, platinum, gold, silver, cable. Yeah, that's one of the nicknames. Yeah, the loonie, Swiss
12
franc.
hours, that's your window.
So you don't have to just be like, oh, I come from futures background and now I'm forced to trade, or I come from currency background and I'm forced to trade, the equities. No, there's a lot of traders I talk to that's like, man, I came from forex. Where do I start? It's like, well, you don't have to really change that much. You can trade currency futures here, and it's the same thing, same process. It's combined exit phase live account.
Straight from Trump.
Cows, orange juice, grains. Yeah, Coach Hoop knows them all. Trade the kiwi, New Zealand dollar. It's been a while since I traded any currencies. Nasdaq and gold for me. Nasdaq and gold for me. Trade the chicken. 8-ball futures. All right, we got about 18 minutes left, and we did a whole lot of nothing. We went up, we went down here in the Nasdaq, and we're just sitting there. I would not be surprised if we were just go back up to 22,900. That's a big round number. It looks like going just for this session tonight. Just let's go through this real quick before we go back over to gold. But you can see tonight where we opened up with a little bit of a gap. We went up, we tried to get above 922s. We rejected not once but twice tonight, and then we sold off. And we got a little bit of a bounce. We didn't really gain any momentum on the break of the power hour session low, that power hour low. And then we pushed right back down again for the entire New York session low, and we found a lot of buyers back down there at those 850s, and we're right back up to 870. So I wouldn't be surprised if the market comes and it takes a look, and maybe we hang around these 22,900s. Like I said, FOMC minutes tomorrow, CPI data, PPI data for Chinese did not really do much to these markets tonight, but I could see the market hanging around 22,900. That could be a possibility. Maybe some more of this choppy price action. We're not getting clear price action. My view, right? There's traders definitely that's liking this price action, that's trading well. And then with gold, I'm not seeing much either. We're just kind of hanging around these 312s to 315s. We didn't break those highs. I was looking for those highs. We didn't get it. News did not really do much for this trade either. I might just, considering holding on to this one for the night. We do have FOMC minutes at 1 p.m. Central. Correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe we get moved then. This could definitely turn into the slow markets trade of the night, where I could look for a break. You know, slow markets, have patience. Usually higher time frames work a lot better. I could see gold actually coming up to this level. You see this level we was at yesterday. There's also some hesitation on the way down. Maybe these 3320s could be a decent opportunity for some targets if we do start to break out. Not looking for a big home run, just looking for a nice little move higher. We did reject those 310s, and not really much going on tonight. FOMC minutes tomorrow is going to be a big one.
The dysfunction and let it speak for itself. No drama, no spin.
I'm so happy and grateful that I found Top Step and stuck with it instead of jumping around like many others. I avoid the mess and payment issues with some traders have faced. Stay focused, really paid off. I agree. It's usually, that's usually the smart thing to do. Why deal with all the headache and the drama trying to understand? I mean, trading's hard enough, right? Trading really is hard enough to go venture, and it's like anything else. So, focus what works for you. Okay, now we're starting to get some momentum. I might just close out of this and take a $100 loss. Shall we? We got 15 minutes left. Or should I just see if we reject these 310s again?
Step 2, we take it to Mexico.
Gold about to puke? Maybe. Maybe. We failed to break higher.
But Diego, you ask, why wouldn't I just fly to Mexico?
What do you think? Do I close it out before I hit my stop loss, or do I see if we found some buyers? The only area I see that buyers can step in is probably going to be 309s. 309s, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 areas. But we might just run down and hit stops and then turn around. Got a nice short on the NASDAQ?
In the States, you work
just wait. Someone says close it. Just wait. I mean, I've already accepted this $300 loss.
That means beer.
Scale in, coach. Scale in. Buy more. Wait. I have FOMO. I'm good with combines, but XFAs are blowing like anything. I got some payouts. If you got payouts, and if you're struggling in XFAs, but you're doing well in combines, could it possibly be a sizing issue? Maybe you're trading too big of size? Miguel says, wait, in it with you.
We'll handle everything while you enjoy your cerveza.
In it with me, and the music stopped. When the music stopped.
Mexico is brimming with amazing food. And don't worry, Mexican restaurants have added a mild section.
Put your stop below the wick? Yeah, I don't like this. This is what I don't like. That rejection right there. Any news on the possibility of back to funded? Nope. We should have asked MP when he was here. But if you, like I said, you follow MP's Twitter, that's where the juicy stuff is. Coach Jay and I was talking about it the other night. I mean, just stay tuned. That's all you can do is just stay tuned, watch, and find out.
We're even opening a Chipotle soon. We don't know what the Chipotle is, but we hear white people love it.
All right. I might.
South, so
this is just going to be a loss, I think.
it's time to green go.
This shall be a loss.
Diego didn't just toss out absurdity.
Actually says I traded gold. What's MP's Twitter? Okay, that's mine. Let me get MP's.
Smuggling Americans? That's not just a joke.
Anybody have emphasis?
Commentary. The absurdity.
I mean, I repost the good stuff anyway, right?
But I
I
do
repost
love
the
it
good stuff
here.
anyway.
Whenever I come to the US from Mexico, everyone says, "Welcome to America."
Okay, I'm bailing.
Right?
I'm gonna bail. Minus $200.
But I was in Mexico. I was already in
Too much momentum. Too much momo.
Because Mexico is
Diego wasn't just cracking a geography joke. He was pulling the curtain back.
I might get back in if we break back above 905. But it's just too much momentum right now.
It's about mindsets. He called out a truth too many pretend not to see. Borders divide land, but it's fear that divides people, and that's what stung most.
How do you keep your positivity? How do you keep the hope? And what is it?
Do we get back in?
Moving forward.
Well, I have seen over the years, over
Get
the
back in?
decades of
Okay, I'm back in.
that you do see change. It takes a long time sometimes, but the one thing that we know is that change.
I thought we were just gonna
happens
keep
when
pushing down.
people
We only have 10 minutes anyway. We only have 10 minutes anyway.
realize it doesn't
Try
happen.
shorting gold.
That's what we're seeing now.
Well,
And
hindsight, man. Hindsight.
we're going to see the
Hindsight.
the things that are missing in our government, in our society.
Are we gonna get more follow-throughs? Is the question. It looked like we hesitated right here. But this was that area I said. Yeah, if we find some buyers, it's easier to get in. I gotta be careful with the way I word this. It's better to get out and back in than to just sit here and hope. Sometimes. Get out and back in. Get in now, really quick. It's cheaper. Take the NQ short. This is a flip point.
When Dolores says Change happens when people are the ones that make it happen.
This is the flip point.
It's not wishful thinking. It's lived
We'll see
experience.
if it's the flip point.
She's marched. She's organized. She's seen the cycle. Dark times, resistance, and...
Do they have maple syrup futures? One day, maybe. Gonna put NQ and GC side by side. Traders will see they are not always correlated. Fact. That is 100% true.
Just truth,
Um,
plain and powerful.
yeah, look, there's gold, right? Here's gold. See, gold, up, down, and then we take a look at Nasdaq. Here's Nasdaq. Not correlated at all right now. So I have a difficult time playing correlation between the two. NQ long of lows, NQ closest maybe sugar futures. Sugar futures. If you want to trade maple syrup, maybe there's some sugar futures that you could trade.
And right there, the room changed. It wasn't just an audience anymore.
Let's see. Are we just gonna break through this? Are we just gonna run stops?
A promise, an energy.
Nasdaq is not even correlated with itself. You never know. Yeah, Nasdaq doesn't even know what it's correlated with.
Real change doesn't come from the
If we hold, I might even add to this position.
rises from below, loud, organized.
Not a big position either. I don't want to be in big positions
The spark.
in this type of market. Yeah, let's get into
Watching,
four micros right there.
Because when Dolores speaks, it's not about history. It's about now. This wasn't just
So it's
a
a
flaw.
flip short.
It was a
I'm
call
hard-headed
to
right now.
arms, the kind
I'm
that
hard-headed.
stays with you
A
long
toenail
after
clip
the
here.
credits roll.
Well, wheat, I
Feel
suppose.
that?
Yeah, there's wheat.
That's the sound
There's
of
definitely.
truth turning into action.
It's the generosity and the openness that surge from it. All because people
that
from
is four.
different
Okay.
cultures and
Nasdaq is
realities
yeah.
agreed to
Nasdaq
give
is
each other a
insane
chance
sometimes.
and build something
Not so much now, but in February,
This place
March,
is
April,
a powerful
Nasdaq was
example
crazy.
of what's
Nasdaq was absolutely crazy during those
what
months.
can be achieved when we put empathy first. Many people are feeling persecuted.
10 Eastern time, Menzie News. Okay, thank you, Andrew. Get those likes up. Let's see if we get 2,000 likes.
Taking their
Come on,
kids to school or going to places where they
2,000 likes. Maybe they'll pump the gold up too. Let's get this gold right back up there to the 14s.
They're your neighbors, your friends.
We take the loss on three contracts, and we'll take the win with 4.
And Diego didn't need a
33-12?
punchline for this part.
33-12 kicker.
Spoke the truth. Empathy isn't weakness. It's the foundation, the plan.
Yeah, we bounced right off that level too. Right? Look at this.
Because when
We bounced
neighbors
right off that
are
level.
here for doing nothing more than dropping off their kids or going to work, that's not policy.
Conspiracy?
Failure.
What do they say? I think not.
Feel it in the room.
Range bound? Yeah, range bound. We're down 0.18.
Laughing. Just a pause. The kind that makes you think twice about
NQ is that.
what country you
I'm not gonna go through that one. They cleaning up the tape. No prints. Right above 312. Then they send it. Sure. Well, yeah, let's send it. We can send this. We can send it to the moon now. That I'm back in. And we have 5 minutes left. 5 minutes left. Let's get going.
So,
Should have added more.
to a Kid Rock concert that day, maybe you can check it out.
VWAP. Still think sellers got momentum.
By making your voice heard, you won't just make the United
This market,
States
it's
of
very slow.
America
It's slow markets.
great
It's a lot different than fast markets.
again. You'll help to
But
make
I mean,
the
as of now, we did make a new low in gold. So I'm sure there's that argument.
Diego signed off.
There's always two sides to every market.
Not before dropping
Overnight
one
bear.
last nudge.
Let's see what the Nasdaq is doing.
If you're not at a Kid
Nasdaq
Rock concert, maybe do
Just
something
completely
to
rejected off those
help
50s.
those.
Those 50s.
That's
900.
goodbye to the
Looking pretty
States.
attractive, to be honest. Like I said,
Farewell.
I would not be surprised if the Nasdaq just hangs around 900 and consolidates and chops overnight with FOMC minutes tomorrow.
Real change isn't about slogans or games or waiting for someone else to act. It's about showing up.
We might end this one.
Speaking
We might
up,
end this one.
backing
We got
up your words
less than
with
5 minutes left.
and
NQ alligator mode. Why is it
Email
only showing
the
NQ?
last
I'm
one
not
wasn't
sure.
just a
Sure.
60,
Stars.
Richard 62, 68. Bought in at 871. Okay. I see you. Nasdaq. Got in long Nasdaq. I'm both short Nasdaq and gold and holding. Okay. This isn't slow. Either the yen was taking 2 or 3 minutes to do 100 ticks. Thanks, Code. I appreciate all you do for free education. Yeah, Tom. I'm on here. Everybody here on YouTube for free. Not here just. Not only here for the clicks and views, but really to answer questions and help traders. I really do my best. I enjoy it. I love it. I do the same thing on when I'm doing the same thing on Twitterverse, and I love seeing it. I've heard some great traders, some traders taking payouts, going from struggling to taking payouts, and that's more rewarding.
Like Fox News. All references come from verified public sources. We
Show
do
me
not
Bikoda.
share private information
I'm no
or
influencer, trust me. I have a hard time holding a phone and recording myself. This, it took me a little bit of time to get used to, talking to a camera, right? Echoing in my room here. Nobody's at my house, it's just me, and it's me just talking to myself. So that took a little bit of time to get used to. I'm a trader first. I am. And I come from options. You wanna see something? Who remembers February? Who remembers February? This was an options trade. This is this is an options trade through Interactive. February puts. It paid. Martin says, you've held me a bunch. Scared to do the wide stops you use, though. Smaller size. Smaller size. Well, I'm glad the 3,000 viewers were not just robots. We got 1,100 likes. We got 1,100 likes. Can't get mad at that. We got 3 minutes. Let's see if gold can come to a conclusion here. Not seeing much. Not seeing much.
He's a con, absolutely. And he's, you know,
We're hesitating here at
he didn't
33.11.
make America great
Will we go back
again.
down?
He did turn
Order
Go up.
filled.
Jim Carrey, the man who built a career on outrageous characters, now delivering.
Yeah, I don't know why traders question me. I told you, day trading is freaking hard sometimes. I'm doing this for everybody here.
Order
I'm day
filled.
trading this account. This account's been open for a year. I'm day trading it here for everybody. Teaching, showing it live on air.
The brilliance.
And I've enjoyed every moment.
His comic timing to expose the ultimate con.
Darth, those aren't naked puts. Those are not naked puts.
But only delivered fresh wax and temporary plates.
But make some good money on it, though.
Just creative mileage management. And here's what proves
Hasta
this
mañana,
joke
Tom.
landed. The immediate
Hasta mañana.
outrage from Mar-a-Lago wasn't
Tomorrow,
a
during
metaphor, but
Power Hour. I'm not on for fast markets tomorrow morning. I am on for Power Hour. And then slow markets tomorrow. Coach Jay joins me. It's always fun to have Coach Jay. And then Thursday morning, you see an MP in the chat. Is MP going to join me Thursday morning? And then again, Thursday night, I have Baron. Got to place a bet. What bet should we put with Baron? Chat, you're going to have to help me out, okay? Baron and I have had 3 bets. I've lost 2 of them, and I've won 1. But I'm positive money. So I have a 30% win rate, and I'm 33% win rate, and I'm positive money, just like my trading when I'm trading well. What would be a good bet going on Thursday? I'll have to think of that, because I got to have a winning bet so we can tie it up. Baron 2-2. Gets on grinder and swipes right on every pitcher. I don't know about that one. He's a sucker for IB setups. You can fade him. Some type of a fade play there. Baron's a good trader. I'm not going to lie. It's always uncomfortable when you fade. If you fade someone like Baron. He's a good trader. He has live account for a reason. He's got to eat a bag of peas. Well, we're not talking about what the bet. Like, we're not talking about the prize or the... Yeah, we're talking about what it would be. How many contracts on those triple Q puts? It was... I think I was about 500 deep. Yeah. Now they're not naked, so it wasn't all of them. So I was about 500 deep here, a little over 500 deep. So he covered 360, covered 175, 73, and you see I had some scalps, and they weren't naked, so it wasn't everything.
This administration is a rabid dog, and it's turning us upside down.
Like button, guys, come on, let's get up to like 1,500 likes before I end this. Well, we're at the end. We're at the end, so let's bump it up. Antifa, yeah, 100%. I come from options background. I come from stocks and options. It's how I make my living. To be honest, it's been my primary source of income since college, trading stocks and options.
That's not your usual late night.
That's my bread and butter. I really refuse, and I don't really like talking about it because I'm here for Top Step. I'm here for futures trading. I'm here for pushing this industry forward, and I'm focusing on the futures. I don't really care what anybody says and talk shit about my day trading. I know I'm not the best day trader. I do my best. I help traders, and that's all I'm here for. I struggle. This is me learning, to become a better day trader. You guys get to see it. 1 account, 0 resets, 0 combine purchases, and I made $250,000 in my bank this year for 2025. So be it. Whether it was XFAs or majority of the profit was made in XFAs or last year, still took that $250,000 payout for my requested for my live account, and have not paid for a combine, have not paid for a reset, and not dealing with any of the BS where I have to guess whether I'm going to get a payout or not. So, yeah, there we go. I'm going to end it at that. I got to get going. Time to go get punched in the freaking face. See ya, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy.
Harry reached for something else. Brush, a canvas, and started painting the truth as he saw it. What happened next? No one was ready.
This whole thing has brought back my 8-year-old self. It's been a gift from God. It's literally brought me back to 8 years old, where I used to sit in my room. Trump is toast.
So here's the twist. When most would have just kept talking, Harry decided to paint. Literally. He took everything he'd said, everything he'd seen, and started putting it on canvas. And that's where things really took off. Because when the speeches weren't enough, he let the art do the talking. And what came out wasn't just a portrait of Trump. It was a warning, a bright, unapologetic burst of color saying, look closer, don't look away. The kind of art that doesn't ask you politely to reflect. It grabs you by the face and says, do you see what's happening here? And here's what made it hit harder. The contrast. The way Kerry saw it, Lincoln once held the country together, fought for unity, for sacrifice, for something bigger than himself. And now we had a president who started with a united nation and was tearing it apart piece by piece. You feel that weight too, don't you? The shift from glue to wrecking ball. And when those portraits went public, it wasn't just the usual fans who took notice. No, the reactions poured in. Some laughed, some cheered, some raged, and suddenly a brushstroke became a headline. And Harry wasn't just making art, he was making waves. Jim Carrey says this is sick. This came out this morning.
Innocent people are now being slaughtered, families ruined, and children's lives destroyed, all in his name. If the craven Republican Senate allows this vile miscreant to continue encouraging divisiveness, the Trump presidency will become an extinction-level event.
Order filled.
Draws Trump with a swastika, like a giant asteroid coming from space about to hit the Earth.
And this is where the brush strokes hit harder than any speech could. Harry's art wasn't just a painting anymore, it became a siren, flare in the night sky. And like any loud warning, it drew heat. Some saw it as a bold truth. Others, they saw it as crossing the line, as too much, too far. But isn't that what real art does? It forces you to react, to look, to question. And while some focused on the swastika or the asteroid, they missed the point. Harry wasn't just mocking Trump. He was holding up a sign that said, "This is the danger I see. Don't look away." And once that image hit the internet, well, there was no unseeing it.
So it's great. He's a car salesman. He's a used car salesman.
Absolutely.
And he's, he didn't make America great again, but he did turn back the odometer.
And with a grin, Carey delivered a line that didn't just land as a joke, it sliced right through the spin. A car salesman with a rolled back odometer? That wasn't just funny. That was the whole story in one breath. You thought that too, right? The truth, hiding in plain sight, wrapped in a smile. And what makes it hit harder? The simplicity. No charts, no speeches, no finger pointing, just one image. The shiny used car on the lot, looking great on the outside, but under the hood, same old engine, same old problems. And Carey didn't need a paintbrush this time. Just that one sentence, and the whole room could see it.
You got to speak, man. This is not a time to clam up. Not a time to get frightened. You have to do what you have to do. This is dire at this point. I can only imagine when you're I just want to express it in a positive way. I want to turn everything painful into art. You actually, are you afraid personally of this? Apparently, I was threatened on Twitter, so I don't know. I didn't see the thing. I heard there was some severed goat head, and I'll see you soon, kind of thing.
This wasn't just a call out. It was a call to courage. Harry wasn't looking for applause. He was pushing people to speak, to act, to turn fear into something that matters. You felt that too, right? The fire behind the words. And what's striking? He wasn't saying it as a star on a stage. He was saying it as someone who's felt that fear too. Someone who chose to turn it into paint, into words, into something that might help others see clearer. That's what makes this moment land deep. It wasn't about ego, it was about lighting a spark. So nobody stays silent when it matters most.
I can break bread with anybody in this country. I love people in this country. I love the heartland of this country. It has nothing to do with that. The trouble with what's happening right now is these really negative forces like the Steve Bannons of the world are convincing us that we're separate, that we're not the same country, that there's...
Se descubrió la hora, pero estaba tan agitada y ahorita me desocupé. Todo está muy bien, ¿tú cómo estás?
Aquí, relajándome, mirando las gráficas de lo que yo hago. Cuéntame, ¿cómo fue tu día?
There's not two countries.
And there it was. A simple truth in a loud, divided time. No two Americas, just one, still standing, still worth fighting for. You hear that clarity, don't you? While others stoke the split, Kerry was trying to remind us what still holds.
And it's a disgrace that it happened. And if you look at what's gone on, and if you look at now all of this information that's being released, and from what never be allowed to.
Kerry didn't need words this time. Just one cough, one perfectly timed grimace, and the message was clear. Sometimes what's unsaid hits harder than any speech. You caught that, right? In a moment where Trump tried to paint over reality with his usual script, Kerry let the silence and that expression speak volumes. And isn't that what real satire does? It doesn't have to shout. It just has to point, to nudge, to make us see what's right there in front of us. No hashtags, no slogans, just a look that said, "Are we really buying this?" And as that clip spread, so did the reactions. Some laughed, some winced, but no one stayed neutral. Because the truth is, sometimes all it takes is a single glance to cut through a wall of words.
Doing conservatives feelings hurt. Then they so let's go to an anonymous commenter who said, and this is one more reason that I'm done with Hollywood. It's okay to be mean and hurtful as long as it's to someone you disagree with, right? There's absolutely no tolerance from liberals for conservatism. They say they're completely hypocritical in every single regard. We see this time and time again. But now to say is not Christian-like whatsoever. I think it is a moment for us as conservatives to just look better, take the upper hand, and to say, you know what, and keep leaving these attacks against us, but we're not responding.
And just like that, backlash lit up. To some, Kerry was the voice calling for truth. Others, he crossed the line. You see the divide, don't you? Same message, two Americas hearing two different things.
You can make a bad decision about a candidate. It's not who you are. It doesn't mean you're dumb. It doesn't mean you're different. It doesn't mean, the trouble with what's happening right now is these it's really negative for, and if anything, we've got to get back to a place where we realize that a vote is not who you are. And because we voted Republican, you're not stupid, you're not different, you're not worthless. I could break bread with anybody who voted for Trump. We could find some common ground to love each other. Stop doing stupid shit!
Yeah, maybe that's the line that lingers most. Because in a moment filled with noise, Harry chose clarity. He didn't draw battle lines. He opened a door, reminded us that a vote isn't a verdict on someone's worth. You feel that too, right? That under all the satire, all the sharp edges, was a simple truth. Disagreement doesn't have to mean division. And in the end, maybe that's the boldest message of all. Not the jokes, not the paintings, but the reminder that we're still neighbors, still one country. It's on us to decide what kind of country.
La mejor noticia. Me
That
alegra mucho. Me alegra mucho.
just this.
Súper, súper bien. O sea, noticia 10:30 de la noche.
Look,
Chévere, chévere, chévere. Me encanta. Muy contento por ti.
this video features
Estuve
commentary
por
based
acá por
on interviews.
el Obrero, creo que es.
Media coverage.
Sí, por allá. Y las puertas que vimos que eran de metal, las que eran planas con solo dos líneas de un lado al otro, las tenía un señor con marco y todo a 350 cada una. Tenía como tres de esas, usadas ya, pero en buen estado y de buen material de metal, con, sí, con todo, usadas. Cuando pasé y yendo para allá arriba, que tenía que hacer una vuelta allá, entonces Me arrimé y dije, voy a ver qué tiene aquí el caballero este. Es como un paisa él. Y me arrimé. Y sí. Y luego esperé un rato para que me dieran ah, el precio de las que también ahí a la vuelta hacen. Hay varios sitios donde hacen de todo en metal, pero estaban súper ocupados. Y pues no, solo te quería pasar ese dato de que 3.50 o mejor hasta en 3 se pueden comprar. Ya llevando las dos, ¿no? Y uno va, oye, que a martes, sí, y estaba ocupado. Y era entre semana. No jueves, viernes, sábado, domingo. No viernes o sábado. No jueves, viernes o sábado. Sí. El lunes y martes son, y miércoles son buenos días de atacar a esta gente. Pero me alegro que hayas hecho lo de el RH ahí. Espero que tú, como tienes buen gusto, hayas pensado bien así, así, así. Y ellos también te dan buenas ideas. Acá no te va a quedar elegante. Entre, entre eso y lo que ya está ahí, muy bien. Me alegro mucho.
It's the cyberbullying. All of the people on the Twitter who are saying the bad things, we need to stop them. We need to make sure that they cannot carry on what they're doing. Did Trevor just have her say that with a straight face? Folks, that's not just irony. That's Olympic level irony. First Lady, Trevor's version of her, talking about cyberbullying while married to the world's most dedicated online troll. That's like a chain smoker launching a campaign against pollution. And Trevor? He didn't flinch. He took that absurdity and turned it into gold. We must stop the people on the Twitter. Ma'am, start with the man snoring next to you. But wait, it gets juicier. Donald Trump was sitting in the living room, turned on the lights. Hi, Melania. I saw what you said about me. The news, it was very. That right there is Emmy material. Trevor reenacting a domestic scene like it's the real housewives of Mar-a-Lago. You can't tell me that didn't happen. Trump walks in like, hi, Elania, and she's just sitting there Googling fastest divorce in U.S. history. You ever see a marriage so awkward even Alexa refuses to respond? That's this one. Be honest, who here hasn't seen a couple like that at brunch? No eye contact, just passive-aggressive toast buttering. Big mystery is, what did the FBI find? Well, according to Donald Trump's third favorite son, the only thing the FBI took was his phone. Oh, that hit harder than a subpoena in an election year. Trevor called him the third favorite son, least favorite child. No, third favorite, that's precision. That's an insult with GPS coordinates. And you know Trump heard me. He probably texted Don Jr. something like, why didn't you tell me we had a third son? But don't worry, we're just warming up. So, I would pay anything to know what he wrote inside that card that he definitely didn't actually get. Like, roses are red, love is a mystery, I had a historic electoral college victory. Why did Trump say he called in to talk to friends? Because it was Melania's birthday. Like, what does that mean? He's like, honey, I've got a great celebration planned for us today. I'm going to talk to some TV people while sitting on the toilet. Like, oh, thank you, Donald. My life is a beautiful. Let's talk about this card, okay? Trump writing a poem is like Elon Musk doing stand-up. Awkward, unnecessary, and borderline terrifying. And that moment where he calls into Fox and Friends for Melania's birthday, that was his gift. Imagine your husband saying,
Babe, I got you something special. A phone interview from the toilet. Ladies in the audience, blink twice if that's ever happened to you. Melania, in her head, was already planning her Slovenian escape route. No return ticket.
Did you ever have Trump on the show?
No, we never did.
He did say some bad things about you on.
I don't know. I don't keep up with it.
Yeah, I do. I keep with it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you have like a feud with him. You have like a real. So here's what I've noticed. Like Trump's annoyance at people is directly proportional to how big they were when he like focused on the media. Does that make sense?
I see. Yeah.
Oh yeah, here we go. Two comedians, one topic. Trump's ego. Trevor breaks it down perfectly. The man doesn't feud, he obsesses. It's like high school drama meets global politics. If someone's more famous than him, Trump starts twitching like he's allergic to humility. Quick poll, how many of you have ever seen someone rage retweet at 3 a.m. because they weren't invited to a dinner party? That's Trump. That's the whole brand.
I feel like after a couple of hours, the doctor told her she could go home, and Melania was like, "No, I should stay. Should stay until you check everything out. Stay longer." I was like, "Okay, well, Miss First Lady, since we're keeping you longer, your husband is on his way to visit. Okay, pull the plug. We tried everything. Pull the plug." It's like, you're not on life support. I don't care. Just try it.
Okay, pause. Bit right there was Melania unleashed. She wasn't asking for her husband's recovery. She was asking for the hospital's Wi-Fi password so she could book a one-way flight home. Trevor gave us a glimpse into Melania's soul, and it's mostly filled with existential dread and designer shoes. And just when you think the roast is cooling off, Trevor hits reset.
His hands really couldn't catch a break because this First Lady gave him the old down low, too slow.
So you're from upstairs. So that
When you watch that, do you think maybe Melania is jealous? Maybe that's what that was about? Oh, now you want to hold hands, Donna.
happening in their
You
lives.
sure you wouldn't rather be holding that?
Fine, there are 2020,
yes.
and the one big beautiful
Infamous
place
hand
about to be
swap.
passed. And during
Forget
this
CIA
year,
footage.
very few
The
people are
clearest sign of marital dysfunction
gonna say
is that
liberal
awkward
or just
moment
being
where Melania
hysterical.
swats Trump's hand
Fast forward
like it was a mosquito.
Start with
debt.
the end of
Trevor
2026
turned that
and the
2-second
beginning of
clip into a
2027.
masterclass
This is when,
on
as the
emotional
bill is
bandwidth.
designed, the
In the
first wave
download
of
too slow line, I caught
millions of people